Today I got to speak to Alexander Sora, who is more famously known for the guy who sold Unicorn Platform to John Rush for $800,000, but he's also gone and built over 8 directories, one of which that he sold for $10,000. So in the first half of this casual conversation, we do talk a lot about directories, and I ask about his approach, what he has built, how he sold a directory for $10,000 and how that even happened. But we do end up talking a lot about other things that builders have to go through. Whether you're vibe coding a SaaS or building a directory, a lot of us share the same pain points. So we ended up talking about the state of vibe coding, whether it's possible for a non-coder like me to build something that can eventually mimic the same success that Unicorn Platform had. We talk about lifestyle inflation and the loss of purpose that Alexander felt after he made a ton of money selling Unicorn Platform, and just other things that come to mind when it comes to bootstrapping and building startups on the internet. So this is very much a walk the dog type listen. I apologize in advance because there is a mismatch in the audio and what comes out of my mouth. For some reason, Alexander's audio amazing, there's no problems, but with me it does look like my audio takes a couple more seconds to come out, so my apologies, still figuring all this stuff out. But with that said, hopefully you enjoy this nice casual conversation with Alexander Sora. Alexander, you've done a lot of really cool things, especially in the directory world. I want to absorb as much information as possible from you as a fellow directory owner. So I would love for you to just give us a little bit about yourself. What's your background? How did you even fall into directories? Why directories in the first place?
Hi, my name is Alexander and I'm a creator of web things. Mostly I build SaaS, it's a web apps. And I'm famous for building Unicorn Platform, a website builder, which I sold to John Rush, who participated in this podcast as well in the past. And I'm a big fan of directories. And the first directory I built was in 2017. But back then, I didn't realize the whole potential of that idea. I built a directory of websites of startups. It's called Startup Toolbox, and I posted it on GitHub. It was 6 years ago, and my idea was to make a directory on GitHub so it feels open sourced, transparent, fair. Like anyone can add their startup. It's not one admin guy who manages everything. It's like a people's directory. Was my core idea. It was quite successful. I launched it on Product Hunt back then, and it was like a product of the day or so. That's it. I didn't earn any money on this. I didn't get any clients on this. It was just a side project for fun. Then I just stopped building directories. That was my one-time event. And this is the launch on Product Hunt. If you are viewing us on YouTube, you can see I'm sharing my screen. And then I continued building my thing, startups, SaaS, Unicorn Platform, the website builder. Fast forward to 2022, I sold it to John Rush, as you might know, and he started to slowly turn this landing page builder into a website builder. And more than that, he wants to build a business builder. So you not just get a website, you get a whole complete business that you can operate online. And one of the types of businesses Unicorn Platform offers now is directory. And I got inspired by this progress because I am the biggest fan of Unicorn Platform since I created it, and I still continue using it. And I was inspired to try new features which were added by someone else, not by me. And I craved to build some directories, and I built a lot, like 8 of them or so.
Wow.
And one of them went viral and it became successful. After that, I sold it for $10,000. And I would love to tell you how I built it, how I found the idea, and how, the most important, how did I find the traffic, people to visit it. This directory is called Stripe Alternatives, and it's an obvious problem for people from the US or from Europe, because you guys can use Stripe. But there are a lot of people, you will be surprised, like the majority of population of the earth, who can't use Stripe. So this problem isn't obvious, but it's super obvious for the ones who live not in the US or Europe. And we often struggle to find a good Stripe alternatives for our SaaS, or to sell courses, or to sell ads on directories. So I built this platform. It's a directory of all Stripe alternatives I personally know. I didn't try them all, but I earned some money on Lemon Squeezy. I earned some money on Gumroad, like 20K. On Lemon Squeezy, I earned like $500. I earned on Pedal a lot, like hundreds of thousands. And I also tried Pioneer. I tried Recurly. So
Did you
as
say you made hundreds of thousands from Paddle?
yeah, I used to run Unicorn platform and it was profitable, so I used Pedal for that.
Oh, okay. I see. Because I saw that some are affiliate links, so I'm wondering if you made 100,000 just from the affiliate links from this directory. But
No,
okay,
sorry. It was made by SaaS.
gotcha.
Yeah. So I built this website. It wasn't like something that I usually build. Usually they build directories of something which is widely presented. I built something that is wanted by a niched audience, by not everybody, only by the people from third world countries and not privileged countries. And yeah, it went viral. Now we should stop and talk about how to promote a directory from the John Rush perspective, because he was the initial creator of this whole movement, and he created the first proven bulletproof way to grow a directory, and it's based on SEO. His idea is to build a directory around a keyword which people are searching for. For example, you can build a directory for that's a stupid idea, but don't do it. That many do that today. AI tools, like
Yeah.
every third maker has a directory of AI tools. That's an obvious idea, and people do search for that in Google. And of course, more of the top AI tools directories will get traffic, but most possibly not yours. So you have to be more tricky and smart and find some keywords which are searched for but not used yet. And that's basically the whole idea of John Rush. Find a keyword, build a directory, put that keyword on the domain name, grow your SEO, build backlinks, write SEO blog posts, and you get SEO traffic and your directory is successful. That's his idea. I tried that. I built a lot of directories around keywords. Let me demonstrate you how to find a keyword. How do I do that? I use a free tool from Google. It's called Keyword Planner.
Interesting. I was
You
gonna ask which tool you used because there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot, but this one is free, so I prefer that. Of course, you can use some other tools, professional tools such Ahrefs, SEMrush, but I don't like to pay money for tools, so I use free ones, and this one is good. And I can't log in because it's not just log in and use. You have to use an account which runs real ads.
Mm-hmm.
That's the trick to get access to this tool.
Yep,
Oh
Google
yeah,
Ads.
I get. You have to run an ad, but you don't pay money to Google. You just pretend you want to run an ad, and you get access to this tool, and you just don't run an ad and use the tool. So here it is: discover new keywords. This is the main button, and then you enter a keyword from a niche you are interested in. For example, I'm a startup guy. I want to grow my SaaS, my startups, and I want to build something around startups. I'm building a video tool right now. It's a video generator application, and I want to grow my client base. So I want to find something relevant in the startup niche about videos. One idea came to my mind is to make a directory of screen recording tools. So I started by this. Let's say people want to capture their screens. How did they find this? For example, screen capture tool, maybe. So I try this keyword and then get results. I would like to go worldwide just to, okay, I can go worldwide. I will go US, doesn't matter. And I will change English to English. And here I will see the volume of monthly searches for this keyword. And as you can see, it's quite good. From 10 to 100K, people search for screen recorder. So basically, a man or a girl wants to record the screen. They go to Google and do this screen recorder. They find tools and try them one by one. My idea is to create a directory of all these tools. So there I can put ad to my SaaS and promote it. Or you, if you don't have SaaS, you can put ads or affiliate links. Okay, this one works. I should check out if there is a directory for that. Okay, Google again this keyword, and I see there is no directory for this keyword. Then I think, okay, this keyword is great. It has volume. The competition is low here. As you can see, competition low. So I go to Unicorn platform and create a website. Actually, I already did that. I registered a domain name capturetools.com. It's not screen recording tools because that domain was taken, but screen capture tools was free. So I registered it and I built a directory of all screen recording tools. It looks ugly right now because the content is populated with AI. I didn't work much on this, but it will be updated with screenshots and video examples. And I build this directory, then I publish it and work on my SEO. And this is how John Rush suggests to build a directory. This is what his whole directory guide is about. But my idea was different. I thought that perhaps there is another way, and I built these things, Stripe alternatives. I didn't want to work on SEO. Frankly speaking, I was too lazy to build backlinks and write posts. I wanted it to grow virally, somehow make it, spreading itself. I wanted people to share it to others and a magic case. And it really happened because it turned out people are struggling with this problem. It's not only me. As I said, more than a half of the population, they can't access Stripe. So people felt that somebody solved their problem and they felt grateful for that. And they started to share my site on the internet. You can see a lot of mentions on X. Yeah, they started to share it on X. On Reddit, somebody wrote a few blog articles about this project. Somebody posted it on Reddit and it was warmly welcomed. Somebody noticed that this website is being actively shared, and this somebody was Frame Payments, one of the items on my directory, and they just asked me to sell it to them for 10K. They didn't ask for traffic, for any analytics, for click rate, and that wasn't the case because they saw that my site is being shared. So it's good, and it's also a problem. And this is all what mattered to them.
So that's interesting because I talk a lot about SEO and keyword research, and I go deep into that. You mentioned things like Reddit, Product Hunt, and Twitter mainly, or X, to promote your SaaS directories. Are those usually the three ways that you distribute the ideas in the directories and get traffic that way?
Yeah, good question. For Stripe payments or stripealternatives.com, I used mostly X and Reddit. I just shared all the Stripe alternatives there and said, hey, here it is. I made a website. If you have the same problem, go and visit them. I made a viral thread on X where I complained that I tried all the Stripe alternatives and they all suck. So I made this website to solve this problem, and it also went viral. It worked because the site itself has this potential to be shared. If I build yet another AI tools list.com, that won't be shared because there are 100 of such websites, and there is no novelty, there is no unique problem solved. People will not share it. So if I launch it on X, no one will care. That wouldn't work for a simple directory without this idea behind it. So traffic from X can be achieved only if your directory has a viral effect. For example, you can go ultra niched. Imagine you are in a barber industry and you know everything about barbers. You can make best barbershops in Los Angeles.com. That wouldn't be interesting for people because they can use Google Maps for that, right? But if you solve some problem for people who struggle more than regular one, for example, you can make something like best barbershops for African types of haircuts.
Or Asian people. That's a thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Our hair is like every Asian friend I know has gone to a barber and had a bad hair day. So that's funny because I was actually talking about that exact example, a directory to help Asian people find a barbershop. So yeah, totally agree. I am curious. So you kind of like built this Stripe alternatives because it hit your own pain point. So you were scratching your own itch in a way. I've personally tried that. I've kind of reframed my approach to more of a data-backed approach where I go into Ahrefs, and I guess you can call it a more of a John Rush method where I find these keywords and then I do a ton of research on them. Were you always creating directories that scratched your own itch, that had some personal tie to a pain point that you were solving? Because you created 14 directories. So I'm curious if you iterated on that process or if it was always something that you wanted to solve for yourself. And that's where the idea was born.
StripeAlternatives.com is the only directory which solved my problem and occasionally the problem of many other people. All other directories I built just following the John Rush's guide. It was just a game for me. It wasn't something coming from my will or feelings or emotions. I just wanted to see how it works. First, I wanted to build a directory because it's fun. Then I also wanted to get some SEO traffic, like John Rush does, and it's also a part of the game. So yeah, so there are two types of directories you can build. First, solving a problem, a pain, which is it will give you the viral effect, hopefully, if the emotion is strong enough. The second one is to be a technician, to be a researcher, to play numbers. This stuff is which I'm bad at, so I don't have any much experience. Yeah, I built a lot of directories, but they don't get any SEO traffic, so I suck at directories, actually.
That's not true. I mean, you did sell one for 10K, which is better off than most people. We do have a question. We might as well just answer them. We have Kelvin. He said, "Did promoting on Reddit cause some of your links to be deleted when you shared your directory there?" Asking as Reddit seems to be clamping down on external linking, or did you did it in an elegant way that avoided that?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, great question. I'm trying to hack Reddit for years and usually I fail, but this one worked. This one worked. This is what I did. First, I made a post. It's not a comment. I made a whole post. And the thing I described in this post is the problem, not the website, but the problem. So people liked the post, not because of the website, but because the problem resonated with them. Here I listed all the countries who can't use Stripe. Obviously, if you're one of these citizens of this, you will be touched, right? Your heart will be shaken because, yeah, I'm from Saudi Arabia and I can't use Stripe. This guy made something for me. Thank you very much. And they upvoted. Obviously, US guys or Europeans are not interested in this. So yeah, if you have a story behind your directory, you can share it and then you attach a link to your directory. That's not prohibited because you shared a story. That's the key value here. If your goal is to just share the link, people will feel that immediately. You came here to promote your thing, not to promote an idea. That's the difference.
100%. I literally did this exact same thing. I did it on a smaller subreddit because I noticed this one you're on has 362,000 members. But yeah, I made a whole post and I addressed the pain point first. And I'm like, why did I spend 80 hours on this directory? Because this is the problem. And the comments will reflect it. The comments were like, oh my gosh, like, thank you for creating this. Like, I have the same exact problem. And so thanks for building this out. So I think that's extremely in line with what I do too. This is a personal curiosity. I talk a lot about location-based niches because my theory is that right now LLMs suck at local queries. I just have, for a few reasons, have a theory that it's just going to be more long lasting. But with that said, I see all these opportunities with more product-based directories, and I would count Stripe alternatives as one. Can you walk me through how you approach that? And mainly I'm curious how you like scrape data and like collect this data. If you scrape the HTML off these websites, like how does that process look?
Yeah. The first thing I do when I create a directory, I populate it with AI-generated data, so it's not an empty website, because you want to publish your website as soon as possible. You want to add it to Google Webmaster Console as soon as possible, but you don't want to add an empty website, right? And there is AI to help you with that. I do that with AI. I just use Google Sheet for my content. Here is an example. And I add one tool here manually, then I just copy the whole column row and the first tool row. I go to ChatGPT or Claude and ask it to populate my sheet with more 50 more screen capture tools. Give CSV. Then I put the copied text and it gives me a ready to use sheet with 50 items I can put right now on my website. Then I go and work on layouts, SEO research, keywords, text. It might take me months because I'm busy with a lot of web projects. Then I return to my website and I decide to upgrade it. Then I spend a lot of time with populating it manually. Only then, not from the day one. Here you can see that this stuff is being cooked for us for free, basically. And it already added Camtasia. And there will be much more items when it's finished. Then I just copy it and paste on my Google Sheet. I'm not sure if I should save it as CSV and import, but it will work eventually.
Gotcha. So you build it out manually first, at least to get an idea, and then you get more ideas from Claude. One thing that was interesting is that when you're talking about the example with the screen recorder, you went on Google to see if there were any directories for screen recorders on the front page. Is there any more competitive research that you do to verify, yeah, this is a good niche to build in? And how do you think about differentiating yourself, I guess, is my question.
If I see any competitors?
Yeah, like if I'm like building a screen recorder, I guess my thought process is, okay, first I want to see if there's a screen recorder directory on the front page so that I know it's possible. Hey, if they're ranking on the front page, then I can probably do that too within a certain amount of time. And then the second thing I'm probably asking myself is, well, how am I going to differentiate myself so that people choose my directory over someone else's? I mean, yeah, there's backlinks in SEO, but I don't know. I'm just curious, like your approach with ideation, which is, I think, the biggest problem for a lot of people when building a directory.
You mean how to find an idea for a directory?
Yeah. Or do you just kind of like think of something, look it up, and then just go for it?
I just think of it because I work in this industry. All my directories are startup related and I work on startups. And these ideas just popping out in my head. For example, I have also a directory of top Indian makers because I work with Indians a lot. I inspire by these people and I decided to make a directory for that. There is a directory of best places to launch a website. It's called launching.pro. Basically, it's all product hunt clones. Also, this directory is something I myself would love to see in the world, so I created it. So yeah, the idea is to dive deeply in one niche, work if you are a barber, learn about local barbers, about best techniques, about the best masters, then you will see that there are pains, there are something you can build a directory from. Because how would you find an idea for that? There is no a place where you can find all the ideas for directories. If there is such place, the owner of this list would just create these directories. So there is no this information. The only way you can do it is by working with somebody in a niche or making a deep research in this niche, talking to people who work there, learning their pains. For example, if you're not from the website industry, but you startup industry and you want to build something, you can talk to a lot of startup founders, and one day you could probably stumble upon me and I would tell you, there's a big pain, I can't use Stripe. And then you will have that idea, oh wow, I could build a Stripe alternatives for this guy and millions of such guys. So yeah, you can talk about people's problems or you can work so you will see these problems by yourself.
Okay. So something I always ask myself too is like monetization potential. So let's just say there's a big problem like Stripe alternatives, but for example, I look it up, there's not that much search volume. Are you still as excited or motivated to jump into that niche? I guess I'm just trying to understand like how you vet niches, or if it really is as simple as just like, hey, I work in the startup world, I hear a problem, that's good enough. I'm going to go build it.
Yeah, I consciously decided to work with startups when I started my career because I knew that startups means money and I wanted to live a wealthy life. I want to build a house, I want to own a car, I want to raise 5 kids, so I need money for that. And I wanted to become a musician. I have a hobby, I play piano, I DJ, but I knew that it will not make me rich, even wealthy. So I decided to go into startups. And if you go into a niche which has money, you can build anything. If you solve problems of rich people, you'll become rich too. So the best way to validate your ideas is just to avoid niches which don't have money. Barbershops probably don't have much money. But if you want money, you can go to maybe luxury watches, build directory of the best watches, or yachts, or luxury cars, bestprivatejets.com. That would bring you a lot of money. And you don't have to choose between, should I make best private jets or should I make best parking slots for jets, which bring me more money? Any will do. Any will make rich because the whole niche has people full of rich people. That's my approach.
That's cool. When did you start Unicorn?
In 2018.
So you built your first directory in 2017. And then when you were building Unicorn, was directories always like an intention, like as a feature of Unicorn?
No, it's not about directories. It was about landing pages. I was making a small business with my partner, with my friend. We were making HTML and WordPress themes for websites.
Oh, cool.
And as any web developer, trust me, any web developer in the world has that idea that they can build the perfect website builder. They have that dream that all the rest are shit. I will build the best one. And we had that idea too in our minds, but we had a huge conflict in our team because my partner was an artist. He actually paints oil paintings. He's genius about that. And he wanted to build a website builder for artists. He wanted it to be a canvas-like style, like Figma. You can put anything, you can express yourself, you can mix colors, you can get extravagant shapes. And I myself wasn't like that. I was more a technician guy, like Steve Wozniak. I wanted to build something strict, something simple, something really stupid, which you can't break. Because if you open Figma, you can build shit. If you open Unicorn platform, all your websites will look good because there are not much possibilities to alter layouts and you can break the pre-designed templates. That was my idea. And that led to a conflict. We actually fought about it. And we decided to split. I went to build Unicorn platform. He built his thing, by the way, which wasn't so successful, but it's still live. It's a big achievement. And that was my idea, and this is how it was started.
So he was an artist. He wanted you had different directions you wanted to go in. You built this landing page builder. Did you find that opportunity the same way? Just you were in this circle of startup founders and you're like, hey, it's kind of hard to find a simple way to make a beautiful landing page.
Yeah. I worked for this niche for 3 years. First, I worked as a freelancer and I created websites manually. Then I worked in that small biz we had with my friend. We sold WordPress themes, HTML themes. And since I was in that niche for 3 years, I talked to a lot of people who build websites. And I was such a man who built websites. And I saw that all the website builders are so difficult. They're powerful, but they're built not for people. They're built for designers, for professionals. Those are not normal humans. Those are people who are dedicated, who can spend hours to make a great website because they're paid for that. I wanted to build a website for humans who need a website for themselves and they don't want to spend hours because
Right.
they want it fast and they want it beautiful. That was my key idea.
I haven't played with a unicorn myself, but everyone who follows you knows that you sold Unicorn platform to John Rush for 800K. So, I mean, that's a wild success story. What are your thoughts around vibe coding, the state of vibe coding, Bolt, Lovable, Cursor? Do you think non-coders today can have a very good shot at building a SaaS that can eventually see the success that you may have experienced with a unicorn?
Yeah, that's a great question. I had a viral post on X yesterday about that. Basically, I complained about everyone building quick SaaS today, and they don't invest enough time to build great products anymore.
I saw this.
Yeah, it went quite successful. 60K news. Yeah, my thought that vibe coding works. It's a good approach to ship fast and validate ideas one by one quickly, but it's just not for everybody. It's not the only way. There is other way which includes hard working. It includes a lot of educating. You have to learn tools, you have to learn coding at low level to be able to build great tools. And it doesn't mean that my approach, spend 3 years working and then build a tool, is the right one. Vibe coding is the right one too. Both require hard working. My approach is to spend years working in an industry, learn the pains, become an expert. The vibe coding approach is to don't spend those years on learning. Try to build something, but it still requires you to spend a lot of time, energy, put colossal effort in that because you have to validate ideas one by one and you have to fail many times. You have to build many products and it still takes time. You can't build a product in weeks. You still need to at least a month to build a proper landing page, copy, proper MVP, then reach people. So you need at least a month. If you're a professional, if you're a beginner, it will take you much more. It takes years for somebody to build a simple landing page. So yeah, both approaches work, but first, they're different. And perhaps vibe coding is not for you if you prefer working on something for a long time. And vibe coding still requires a lot of time. Yeah, it's fast, but you have to retry again and again because It's not guaranteed that your wipe coded tool will be used and demanded and paid for. Perhaps you will have to try again. We have the story of Josh Pickford, the creator of Biometrics, which was sold for 3 millions. And that founder shared the list of all his startups he tried. And this is a Google Sheet page which contains 50 items. So he started 50 projects before the only one kicked off. You saw that list from Peter Levels, that HD guy had even more. You saw that list from Mark Lewon, who also had dozens of projects in his portfolio. It takes years, to build all of them and try again and again and fail again and again. So wipe coding works. It's not for everybody. It's still hard.
100%. I mean, you hit it on the nail. When I think of vibe coding in the context of directories, I think it's funny when people just tell Lovable, like, oh, just make an SEO optimized directory. Because when I first built my directory, I literally didn't know any better. I copy and pasted all the information. I added one page at a time. The benefit of that was I knew every single change, every SEO tactic, from simple things like putting your keyword in your header one, or changing your slug, or internal linking. I knew the effect of all of those things because I was taking a lot of time up front to implement those. And if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't really understand what prompting Lovable for SEO optimization even means. And I just really resonate with what you're saying, because I've started a few businesses. I'm on technically my 8th year of bootstrapping entrepreneurship in general. And I feel like only the last 6 months I've started to find success. So it's been you have some peaks, of course, but was Unicorn your second business ever, or where does Unicorn lie? I'm just using it as a benchmark because that's kind of one of the peaks in your journey. What number of business was that, and how many years or attempts at entrepreneurship did you have?
That was my first project. Previously, we just sold a few WordPress themes with my friend. I wouldn't consider it as a project or even a real business. We just were making fun with HTML and getting paid for that. So yeah, it was a success from the first try. But again, it took me 3 years to learn about the industry. So yeah, there are two ways. Either you work in an industry. For example, you can be a physician or a car driver or a pilot or a gardener. If you work for 3 years in any industry in the world, even if you work as a janitor, you will see a lot of pains, hundreds of them. You will see that synchronizing janitor's schedule is a pain in the ass in 1 year, and you will build a SaaS and you will be able to sell it because it's a real pain. So that's my approach. Work for somebody for a few years, then you will come out not just an expert person who is able to build a project, but also as a guy who has an idea which will work for 100% sure. The other way is to try different paints which you are not sure about. This is what Mark Levon does. This is what Peter Levels did. This is what Josh Pickford did. So there are two ways.
I don't know about you, but I get people asking me maybe it's an email where they're telling me they quit their job just to go vibe code or create directories. And I don't know, I'm kind of curious on what your take is, because if I were to redo it, I graduated college and went straight into it. I took the risk. I had a little bit of savings, and it was risky looking back. But I feel like we're in an era where a lot of people are quitting their job to kind of take advantage of the AI gold rush that's happening right now. I'm just curious, what's your take on that? What would your advice be as a bootstrapper? Quit your job or hold on to it to a certain MRR and then quit?
Yeah, great question. I know little makers who were able to combine their 9 to 5 and their side hustle and who were success. But I know a lot of makers who did success by quitting their job, myself included. We took risk with my partner. We decided we were rich guys back then in 2016. Me and my friend, we were rich guys. We were making freelance money. A lot of them, I was paid $60 per month per hour. That was my rate. I was crazy rich. And my friend as well, he's a genius UI designer. He was paid really well as well. And we decided to quit all our gigs, cut all the ropes, burn all the bridges with our current clients. We just stopped earning that a lot of money, and we rented a small one-bed apartment for 2 men. That was cheap. Yeah, there was some problems with that, and yeah, we started to live in one apartment just to cut our costs a lot and to increase our runway. And only this way we were able to focus fully on our idea and build a WordPress theme that was selling well. I can't imagine one combining 9 to 5 with side hustle. It's just impossible. How can you split? I know such examples, but they're so rare.
They're very
And
rare.
yeah, as far as I know, the guy who made Wolfram Alpha combined their job.
Alpha?
It's
Oh,
a
maybe.
smart search engine. What is?
Oh, okay.
You can ask it stupid math questions, and then it will give you right answers.
That's awesome.
If you
Yeah.
have child, if you have dependents, of course you have to provide money to your family. But if you're alone, if you're young, what stops you? You don't need that money. You need experience. You need your skin in the game to earn the experience, right? What's the point of earning money when you're young? What would you do with that money? What? Tell me. Invest? You won't get rich. That's impossible. The only thing you can invest is yourself, your brain. That's done by risking, by sacrificing the incomes. That's the best advice one can have.
I tried really hard when I worked a full-time job. To be fair, the week I got that job, I was already planning my escape. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do to get out of here? And I was working, I was like basically not hanging out on any weekends, working right after work. And I chose directories because it was like the one thing where I was like, okay, if this works and I monetize with display ads, I can make a few $1,000s a month. I mean, it'll be a lot of time up front, but it'll get to a point where I can just make a few $1,000s a month, and that will be just enough for me to support myself for a little bit longer, and then I can quit and then like go on the offense. But yeah, I agree. It's really, really hard. Yeah, you're just drained after work and you don't want to do anything. So
Yeah,
I
true.
totally agree. It took me 2 times to quit my job. I'm on my second attempt, and this is the attempt where it's working. So my unsolicited advice is like, if I lost everything tomorrow, what I would do is I would just get another job and then just maybe work it for a year and just live super frugal, save as much as possible, and then just like build a small nest egg to go on the offense again and then quit and then repeat until I have like hit my stride. Luckily, I think this will be the last time.
Good luck. Good luck. Fingers crossed.
So what are you working on now? You sold a unicorn platform. I saw your tweet. First of all, if you don't follow Alexander on Twitter, great follow. The tweet that I'm thinking about is the one where I think it's pinned, where you say, I sold unicorn platform for 800K, but like my chances of success are probably lower than yours or something. Can you like explain that real quick? And then I'm curious what you're working on after.
Yeah, I wrote this tweet when I was in the middle of a crisis, honestly, because when you make an exit for such a large amount of money, for me it's large, not for you, because you live in the US, perhaps. So when I sold my startup, I felt really empty first because, I was building a unicorn platform every day for 5 years or so. And then it's just taken away. You don't need to do. Yeah, it's gone. And basically it was my whole life. And now I am nobody. I had to rebuild my personality from scratch. Who I am? What do I do? Why? And all those questions are super tough. And it gets even more harder because now you have money and you don't have to answer these questions. You're not forced to find yourself because you can just chill, play video games, which I did, and enjoy your life and say, okay, I will do that tomorrow. What's the problem? Everything is good now. But it lasted for 2 years or so. And finally, I was able to rebuild myself and find my purpose and start making startups one by one. Basically, stripealternatives.com, my directory, was my first step to getting back on the track. I wanted to make some quick success to always feel that sense of the game, to become a hunter again, because I spent my 2 years laying on a couch. Now I need to catch a small bird to feel the sense of blood and catch a bigger bird. That post was made in the middle of my crisis, and I complained that I have a lot of money. What do I do? Basically, it was just my internal problems, mental problems, nothing special.
I don't know if you saw there's a Reddit post that went viral. It's the guy who sold Movement watches, the e-commerce brand, for like, I think it was like 100 million. And his whole Reddit post is just like, yeah, like life is meaningless now. I just wake up and I just play video games. Like, so it was like a loss of purpose, which is like a very tragic loss for a builder who wants to make cool things for the rest of their lives and is young. Like you're young, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It sounds stupid, but it's dangerous. If you're getting rich overnight, like that guy, not overnight, but crazy rich, your dopamine system basically is getting destroyed because you got a huge reward, and to become happy, you need to get a reward again, at least that huge. You won't be happy earning $100 anymore. You won't be happy earning 1 million anymore. You need to earn 200 millions now. How do you do that? I'm not young anymore. I try to improve my life every day, but I don't do it quick. So, for example, I have an old car which is like costed me $150,000. It's a Honda Civic, and I bought it.
100 and a half thousand
Yeah,
dollars. Oh,
really
$1,500, like 1,500.
no, $1,500.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's an old car, and when I made my exit, $800,000, I bought this car, and I was able to buy a rich car, but I bought this stupid shit which can't drive well because I wanted to improve my life. Not so fast. A few years later, I get used to this car. I buy something more sophisticated. Right now, I ordered Chevy Equinox, which is
Oh, nice. I like those. I've been seeing more of those on the road too.
which is still not premium, but it's way better than my current car. And when I switch to this one, it will be here in a few weeks. I will be so happy. I just bought a car which cost like $8,000, but it will be such a huge improvement in my life. And I will feel so happy. If I bought a super cool car, for example, Range Rover, when I sold my startup, I wouldn't be able to upgrade anymore because the next upgrade is Bentley, which will cost a fortune. I won't be able to buy. So I need to upgrade step by step. This will be my next car. Then I'll buy some more sophisticated, maybe Chevrolet Tahoe. Then in 10 years, I will buy this one. And I will feel that excitement and happiness. Oh, wow, this Range Rover is so cool, So this is my idea, is to improve my life step by step.
I love directories. I love hearing SaaS stories, but sometimes I do just like to get into the mind of like other quality of life things. I feel like that's pretty interesting and not a lot of builders talk about that enough. I did ask this before, but yeah, what are you working on now? Anything exciting coming up? Where can we learn more about what you're up to?
This chart displays what I work the most. 50% of time I work on Paracast. It's an app which I built with vibe coding, by the way. Yeah, I used Cursor for that. Of course, not entirely, but I used it a lot. I want to build something like Unicorn Platform, which was a simple website builder, but for videos, for promo videos. Here you can put a few frames, I call it frames, and get a promo video like this one, for example, beautifully animated. So you don't need to hire a video editor for that. You can change colors, put a few frames, and you have a beautiful video. That's my idea of my new tool. Yeah, I post on Twitter a lot. It takes a quarter of my time. I make videos on YouTube. It takes 10% of my time. And I work on directories, on side projects. It takes 16%. I also sell premium web domains because I like buying domains. And at some point, I thought that, okay, if I buy so many domains, perhaps I should start to selling them, because what's the point of piling them in my room? So yeah, I have these ones. If you want to research my projects, you can go to my X bio and click all the link if you're curious. And that's it. If you have any questions, you can reach me in DM. Also on X, I check every message.
Alexander, dude, thank you for all your time. I wish you the best success, and please feel free to also DM me if you need anything, if there's anything I could do to provide value.
Thanks, everybody. Good night. Good day.
So I hope you enjoyed that chat with Alexander Sora. If you made it this far in the video, I do have one quick favor to ask you. I would love to know if you think I should do more of these podcast style videos where I bring on directory builders and SaaS bootstrappers and just pick their minds, see what they have learned along their journey. If so, then I will invest in better software. As you can tell, I have a pretty bad setup right now. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. It would be super helpful. So with that, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in another video. See ya.